weight right now?
Right this second? I'm not sure, Greg. How about that? That's an honest answer. And I will answer your question a little better on the playing weight, Greg. And not what it was when I walked up the field in Buffalo. All right? I can tell you that.
Friday's the weigh-in, right? Isn't that when you got to get on the scale and they fine you if you're over the prescribed weight? I don't know what they expect. He does look a little fuller in the face than when we last saw Phillip Rivers. Not that there's anything. I mean, I'm not being critical. I'm just saying he does look a little larger than he was when he last played for the Colts.
Sure, no doubt. Now, I don't know if quarterbacks will, usually skill guys, they're pretty, consistent with their weight. They're not the guys that usually have to weigh in on a Friday, right? It's usually just the big D tackles and offensive linemen to go hey, let's make sure that they didn't have a bunch of muffins this week and put on 10 pounds the last 4 days, because those guys can do that, right? So, but nonetheless, as you get older, you get a little thicker, but it doesn't look like he's out of shape. Just certainly doesn't look maybe as in shape as he was at the end of his career.
Well, it does make me wonder how much time he spent preparing for the moment, because after we talked it through, I kind of realized that this was, I believe, the emergency plan all along. He and Shane Steichen were talking about it once they lost Anthony Richardson, and they're moving forward with Daniel Jones, who had multiple significant injuries in the past, neck, ACL, etc., and your backups, Riley Leonard and Brett Rippon. You got to have a plan. They didn't trade for a veteran. If they knew all along that if Daniel Jones gets injured, we're activating the Phillip Rivers bat signal, I assume he's been doing something to get himself in playing shape. He may not be at his past playing weight, but does it really matter? It's not like he's going to be running around in the pocket. He's going to be making a quick decision, getting rid of the football or throwing it into the dirt or in the vicinity of an eligible receiver to avoid taking a sack.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you're getting him. Hopefully he's got good feel and remembers the offense. He can make good, quick decisions, get the ball out. Again, what we talked about a little yesterday is that's what I find fascinating. I mean, back 5 years ago, teams really, the MO became safeties 20 yards deep. Don't go back any farther. He's not going to really be able to throw the ball over your head. That's a tough way to live right off the bat. Right, I know people go, quick, short throws. Yeah, those quick, short throws in the NFL, let me just tell you, you make 10 of them, you're going to have 6 heart attacks sometimes, because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm fitting this right between a defensive tackle and a DN, and there's a linebacker sticking his hand like this, and there's so it's and you have to have feel and, of course, anticipation and everything there. That's where I want to see this. I'm amazed by this right now. I really am. This went from a game that I could have kind of cared less about to now I can't wait to watch it and just see what he looks like and see what his arm looks like and see, again, 44 years old, he's tough as hell, but as we know, when you get that age, usually guys are very jumpy in the pocket. So that's what I'm really kind of intrigued by when it comes to Sunday afternoon.
And he is wearing number 17, even though that's Daniel Jones' number. They threaded the needle by saying, hey, Jones is on season-ending IR. I can't think of another time that a guy ended up on season-ending IR and they reissued his number. But this is a rare situation where you've got Phillip Rivers coming back after nearly 5 years away from playing. I said yesterday he'd be the third oldest starter if he starts on Sunday. Actually, he'd be the fourth for now, because Vinny Testaverde was older than Rivers is now when Testaverde last started for the Panthers in 2007, I believe. But if Rivers starts Week 18, he'll be older then than Testaverde was in his last start. So you can do it, Phillip. You can be the third oldest, not the fourth oldest quarterback to start a game. And there are only 5 who have started at the age of 44: Tom Brady, Vinny Testaverde, Warren Moon, Steve DeBerg, and George Blanda. Phillip Rivers would be number 6. It really is amazing. I mean, as I said yesterday, in a season full of curveballs, this is like an eephus pitch that came out of nowhere on Monday. And I kind of like it. It makes things interesting. I know it's good for business when I track our real-time traffic for the week and I see what stories have drawn the most interest. Phillip Rivers' name comes up a lot. This is something people are interested in because, like you said, who cares about the Colts and the Seahawks? The Seahawks are polishing off a potential Super Bowl run, and the Colts are falling apart. Now all of a sudden, hey, let's see what happens when Phillip Rivers comes back to play, because I think he will play.
Yeah, I'm kind of expecting him to play. I am. Again, like we said yesterday, Riley Leonard, I feel like is a little bit more of a developmental project. I'm not sure you want to throw him out there in this situation. Phillip Rivers, I think they'll probably feel like, hey, he can run the offense. He can do all that. All the checks we got, everything there, he'll be able to do that. And, yeah, that intermediate to short passing game, we feel like he can thrive there. Now, you mentioned some of those names, right? Like Brady, Vinny Testaverde, Warren Moon, Steve DeBerg, George Blanda. And no disrespect to Steve DeBerg, who I have a lot of credit for, right? But the other four guys on there are freaks of nature, right? That's the one thing that kind of jumps out. Like Brady's arm is an all-time arm, like we always talked about. I mean, he could be in a wheelchair at 78, and we're still going to go, damn, Brady can still throw the damn ball. Warren Moon, come on, he came out of the womb throwing spirals and rifles down the field. So he's incredible. Vinny Testaverde is a Greek god. I mean, Vinny Testaverde is one of the most impressive specimens you've ever seen at the quarterback position. And, of course, we know about George Blanda and him being that way as well. So, that's where I'm not Phillip Rivers, a freak in his own way as far as being tough, physical, big, but like when we talk about arm strength and all that, no, he's not in the category of those guys. And that's where, even looking at those throws right there, I mean, hey, I don't know, the ball looked like it was in the air a long time. So that's what I want to see. And then you're going to Seattle? Hey, you're coming out of retirement, and you're going to see some of the biggest, baddest mofos you've ever seen in your life on the defensive line. And you're not going to be able to hear jack diddly crap. Good luck with that. Oh, and their secondary plays man-to-man, and they are going to make you throw the ball into some tight windows. Welcome back to the NFL. That's what I'm just amazed to see, too. I mean, the situation itself is extremely hard here.
First of all,
what?
We interviewed Vinny Testaverde at the Super Bowl within the past few years, and he looked like he could still play.
Right, right?
Right. Gray hair and all, he looked like he could still play.
Right.
Second of all, that said, I will not tolerate Steve DeBerg's slander in this platform. Steve DeBerg was the master of the play-action fake.
He was.
No one ran a play-action fake better than Steve DeBerg. No one. He was the best. And Google this. We've talked about it before, I think. He once had a larynx injury, and he played a game for the 49ers with a microphone and a speaker attached to his shoulder pads under his jersey so his teammates could hear him.
It's hilarious.
That's commitment.
Hey.
That is commitment.
Remember when he played he played quarterback for the Chiefs there at one point of his career, where he looked like, Chubbs from Happy Gilmore and had a big damn wooden sticks on his hand and it all, buckled up. And he was playing football, and the other hand looked like this. He literally was like this, like, hey, give me the ball. I got it. I mean, it was hilarious watching it back in the day. Tough as hell, that's for sure. No disrespect intended to Steve DeBerg, and that's crazy right there with the speaker.
There it is.
No silent count. No silent count, apparently.
That's not the thing on his hand. No. No,
Oh,
not in those days. Look at the thing. He's carrying around a boombox on his back.
That's hilarious.
Look at it.
That's amazing.
That's how he did it.
Right.
That's how he. But well done pulling that up. But yeah, had a microphone and he had the speaker. And I mean, could you imagine he gets slammed down on his back? What happens to that speaker? But hey, that's what they did in order to get it done. He played for the 49ers, the Broncos, the Buccaneers, the Chiefs, and the Dolphins in a career that ran from 1978. Oh, he came back and played for the Falcons in 98. He did a Phillip Rivers.
A little bit.
He played for the Dolphins in 1993, and he returned and played 8 games with 1 start for the Falcons in 1998.
Man, I didn't realize that gap was that long.
He was a quarterback's coach for the Giants for 2 years. He was retired in 94, quarterback's coach of the Giants in 95 and 96, retired in 97, came back and played in 98. So he got started in 78 and he finished in 98. So that is freak status. If you can play in the NFL for that long,
I'll take it back.
If you can run the play action fake the way he did, if you play with a speaker on your back and Chubb's wooden hand on your wrist, you are a freak in a good way.
Yes. All right, you're right. I'll stand corrected. He is a freak. He definitely is.
So, Shane Steichen was asked yesterday, obviously the head coach of the Colts, about whether or not it will be Phillip Rivers or the rookie Riley Leonard on Sunday. Here's what Steichen had to say.
Yeah, we're going to go through this week of practice, see how it goes, and then we'll make a decision at the end of the week probably. So we're going to get him through practice.
What's Riley's situation right
Riley will practice. He'll practice today. He's dealing with the knee, but he will practice.
If Riley's healthy, will he start?
We'll see how the week goes. We'll get to the end of the week and make that decision.
By the way, the Riley Leonard injury allowed him to fully participate in practice yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's encouraging.
Right.
Despite the knee, he was characterized at some point as week to week.
He was, right.
But he did do the full participation. So there we are.
All right.
All right, let's pivot now. I saw somebody took a shot at me in the sheets, and now it's been deleted. I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out
That
what they
was
were
me.
saying
That
about
was
me not
me.
reading the sheets.
That
I read
was-
the sheets. What did I read the sheets.
Well,
What did
no,
I
you
skip?
didn't read it.
What did I skip?
Well, she said at one point that she just goes, hey, we don't need to show the Steichen thing if you want to move along and keep the conversation going. But you just skipped right over there. Like, hey, as soon as she typed it, you were like, hey, here's Shane Steichen, by the way. So I was laughing at you in the sheets there. Yeah.
I didn't see it. It's
Yeah.
not that I didn't read it this time. It's I didn't see it.
Right.
But I wanted to hear from Steichen, as did, I assume, some of you, because it's the alternative to hearing from either of us, what Steichen had to say about whether or not it's going to be Phillip Rivers or Riley Leonard on Sunday. I think it'll be Phillip Rivers. They didn't bring him back. He didn't leave his house with his 10 children and at least one grandchild to come stand on the sideline. He came back to play.
I would
he
expect
will
so.
play
Right.
unless he gets injured in practice, or it's just, they pull him aside Saturday night and say, hey, Phil, no, it's this ain't it. And in that case, he'll just leave. I can't imagine him being the backup on Sunday to Riley Leonard. Okay. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.